Hello, I'm Mariellen Fidrych, and I'm here with my colleague, Cathy Butler. We are internship faculty at Endicott College. We are happy, pleased, and excited to be with you virtually, unfortunately not live, to talk about the value of reflection and self-awareness during complex, uncertain times. The global pandemic health crisis forced our students to discover skill sets incorporating increased resilience and adaptability. The changes in our society, including a new civil rights movement and an unpredictable workforce and economy, drives the need for students to look inward at themselves and their responses to situations that are beyond their control. Students are encouraged to use the power of reflection on these events and their responses to shape actions and their agency in order to move forward. At Endicott, we think hard about how best we are preparing our students for the future, especially given the uncertain times we're facing. We believe that our students experience positive post-graduation outcomes because of the intentional and individualized preparation they receive as a component of our academic internship program. Part of this preparation involves focusing on both the NSEE Principles of Good Practice for Experiential Learning and the NACE Career Competencies. We use a scaffolded approach to working with students from freshman through senior year, bringing them through spiraled learning opportunities in which they become the authors of their own learning, building earned confidence along the way.
Some objectives we have for our session today include to identify ways for us to foster increased self-reliance, nimbleness, and agency to better equip students for a world in which future skills are unknown, but change is certain. Facilitate more intentional learning through reflection and goal formation. Foster student emotional intelligence that promotes self-authorship, deliberate actions, and ability to deal with ill-structured problems and uncertain challenges. We also hope to learn from each other, some of your innovative best practices. As lifelong learners, it's important that we constantly upskill in our own areas of expertise, adapting to the dynamic changes in our higher ed, experiential learning, and global workforce. So let's start this conversation. How can we help our students, Mariellen, become more flexible in their mindset, more nimble in their thinking and skill building, as well as better equipped to drive their own learning in order to meet the needs of a very challenging, dynamic world of work?
Well, some of the tools that we've embedded recently into our curriculum include the use of discussion threads. We use these at every level because we have students from freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year in career and internship preparation. And these discussion threads encourage students to really look inward to assess how am I doing internally and how am I presenting externally to people around me. It encourages open communication, positive affirmation from peers and faculty, and it just serves as a strong self-reflection exercise to kind of move them forward.
We've also begun to offer self-skilling opportunities through career labs and other labs on the campus, where students have the opportunity to gain certifications and badges, and those are things that build out a portfolio, that it gives students confidence to really put themselves out there and have a comfort level with the skills that they bring to the table during ever-changing circumstances.
Which is really cool. I know one other recent innovation, we've worked closely with the Career Center here on campus via the NEST to connect students with alums, to give them powerful mentors to move them forward and to give them feedback as well. And that's been another helpful tool. I guess I would ask too, Kath, when we begin to look at this this kind of big task in front of us during these uncertain times. How can we, as practitioners, facilitate recursive learning by doing more intentional and using learner-centered exercises for our students through assignments and assessments?
So one of the things we've begun to do over the last year or so was shift from sort of a one-way feedback tool of supervisors post-internship would do an assessment, essentially grading student performance on some of the NACE career readiness competencies. And we still have that piece where we absolutely encourage it to be a conversation. Mm-hmm. The student sits with the supervisor and the supervisor actually shares that live. But on top of that, one thing that we've begun to experiment with was having the student actually do a reflection after that, after reading, after listening, sort of thinking about, was that reflective of my true performance? You know, did this accurately capture my skills and what I bring to the table? So at every turn where we can, we're trying to add another layer of self-reflection so students become much more comfortable in who they really are and what they bring to the table.
It's key for them to be able to be open to receiving feedback from the supervisor, but equally key, as you say, to reflect on what that performance evaluation says about them. And one other sort of assessment instrument building off of that is we've incorporated the NACE career competencies into an assessment tool that the student rates themselves in each competency. And it's not a graded assignment per se, but the student actually does a check. How am I doing with my professionalism, with my critical thinking skills? Am I moving the dial? Am I moving forward? And gives them confidence when they can see, I have moved, I have grown, and I've gained proficiencies in some of these areas. It's kind of really neat.
Yeah. The ahas that come and the development in confidence that grows in those experiences has been such a joy to watch. So I have another question, which would be, how can we assist students in adjusting their expectations without losing initiative, momentum, and drive? You know, what strategies have worked? What else should be explored? And I'm framing this around our current environment, where there's been a lot of disappointment when things were certain and then they got pulled back. So sort of helping students be more nimble and be more flexible and adaptable in maybe trying things even outside their major.
Yeah, I think it's important. We've kind of introduced design thinking as not only a concept in our toolkit, but actually we've experimented with some very cool design thinking practices, such as mapping and phototyping in certain workshops and classes, to have students try on different opportunities and experiences, pushing them to kind of come outside of what's comfortable for them and to take some risks, some really proven risks. And by doing that, they're growing their network at the same time, which has been really, really valuable, I think, in a lot of different ways.
One of the prototyping activities that we've used a lot recently, kind of at every level, every grade level, is informational interviewing. So a graded assignment where you have to identify 3 professionals, maybe in your field, maybe not, and reach out, secure an appointment, have your questions prepared ahead of time, do your research, and learn from folks that are out there in certain roles that you might aspire to. And what do they like about what they do? How did they get to where they got to? You know, what skills and competencies does one need to be successful in that field? And with the younger students, we have them do that with older students. with the upper class folks, they actually have to go outside into the professional world and speak with professionals. So that's been super confidence building as well, and self-propelling, if you will. Yeah.
I love that confidence building, and the other sort of key to the informational interviewing is the chance for students to not only network, but to develop real relationships that will guide them on their career path. They've found the value in that. They've made some kind of close and strong connections. One other thing, just sort of looping back to that self-awareness tool, one other thing that we've done in few years past, and we continually strive to update it, is we've taken the students' reflective essay that they write when they complete their field work, and a component of that is to look at the career competency, to maybe select 3 competencies that they want to work on during their field work and write about that in their essay, and also interview someone at their site, whether that's their supervisor or a peer mentor or someone else. And in this reflective essay, it can be written not necessarily in APA format. It's written in a first-person narrative where they're really sort of unpeeling the layers, and they come back from their field work and meet with their academic advisor, because our program is so closely integrated into the discipline curriculum of what the student's studying within their major. Kind of just a cool assessment piece.
So can you talk to me a little bit about some of the different exercises, activities, opportunities where you have students, in their own words, tell their story, which illuminates their skills, proficiencies, and learnings along the way?
Yeah, I think we both share this vision that everyone has a story, and each student's story is unique to them, and it's getting them to share that story and shine in the best possible light. And of course we do resume preparation, and of course we assist them with interviewing skills, but going beyond that, thinking about what their vision is. So one exercise that I've introduced at the sophomore level is a vision board. And the students love sharing that, and they are very, very creative, and they compile visions, not words, of their immediate goals and their very far future goals, not only in their professional life, but in their personal life, what they hope to achieve. And it's very eye-opening to them, and I'll say to them, leave that in your residence hall, let it inspire you, keep adding to it. It's going to help you grow and enable you to tell your story. So that's sort of one assignment that I've built into working with students in class. With the juniors, we have a course, an internship strategies course, which helps prepare the student for their full semester-long internship. And we collectively at Endicott rebranded this course to be an action lab, if you will, and putting the onus and ownership back to the student so that they feel empowered to take control, to navigate their journey, to really strategically search for their internship and find the best cultural fit for them. And as part of that, in this internship strategies course, the students prepare a career action plan, and they share it with key faculty, such as yourself in the business school. And they take a lot of pride and ownership in doing this. It's something that centers them, if you will, on their journey.
Excellent. So now we'd really like you to hear from a student in their own words how this all kind of comes together to create a journey that has purpose, has agency, has outcomes. And so we're going to let you hear from a student.
Hey everyone, my name is Mike Raynone. I'm a senior here at Endicott College. and I'm studying business management. So I just wanted to take the time today to kind of explain my journey as a student and how I got from where I was freshman year to where I am today as a senior. I'm about to go out into the working world. So I guess we'll start with kind of my journey searching for colleges, right? I knew I'd wanted to play baseball in college, and I knew I wanted to go to a college that was close to home. Fortunately, I was able to do both as I ended up here at Endicott. And like I said, baseball at the time was really my focus. And I wasn't really utilizing, the internship program in the business school to its full capabilities. And, playing a college sport is a full-time job in itself. So unfortunately, I kind of fell behind to a situation where I had to land an internship that was far from ideal for me, both personally and both professionally for my major. So, freshman year went by. I was dealing with an injury. I had hurt my arm my freshman year, and I was a pitcher, so this was very difficult. It was some tough times I was going through, but it also served as kind of a wake-up call for me, where sophomore year came around, and there was no longer baseball because of my injury. I was kind of left in a situation where, again, I didn't use the internship program to its fullest potential, and so I knew I had to kind of lock in, focus in, and really kind of figure out, what do I need to do to get from where I am to where I want to be. So sophomore year comes around, right? I start making more connections. I start going to the Internship and Career Center every day. Every Friday I would go and visit my internship coordinator, Cathy Butler, and she would help me, and we would search, and we'd say, okay, what do I want to do? Where do I want to be? As a result, I leveraged some of my resources here, and we were able to land my first internship in Boston, which, coming from a small town, was definitely a big adjustment, but it was exciting, and it was going outside of my comfort zone, something I honestly hadn't really done before. It wouldn't be possible without, the support of my professors, the internship program in Endicott School of Business. So that internship was in logistics and analytics, again, a field I knew nothing about, but it really set the stage and made me comfortable with getting outside my comfort zone. And this was kind of the first step in me, again, pivoting from where I was to where I wanted to be. So again, had a great experience, met some really great people, had some really great connections, learned about the city life a little bit. And from there, that's when I knew. I knew I wanted to work in Boston. I didn't know in what yet, but I knew I wanted to be there, and that was kind of the place to be. So again, fast forward to junior year. I'm looking for an internship again. We do 3 here at Endicott, but I wanted to do another, given the first one was not a great experience. I had a mutual connection, again, through Cathy Butler, my internship coordinator, and he was at this small, privately held financial firm in the financial district in Boston. Again, had no idea what I wanted to do at this point, just knew I wanted to be in Boston, and I wanted to give something new a shot. So what do you know? I end up having a few interviews, having a few intro calls, and I end up in Boston again. And unfortunately, that internship fell in the second semester of the spring, and along came COVID-19, the pandemic. So again, another experience, another kind of hardship I had to go through, where it was a situation that we had agreed to mutually part ways given the state of the pandemic. And because I was an intern, I couldn't really work from home. So I was left kind of in this spot. It's like, okay, so now I've done 3 internships, and I still don't know what I want to do. And it was a pretty nerve-wracking process. But fast forward senior year, we're in the summer. I'm searching for my semester-long internship. I knew I wanted to do it in the fall. I declared for the fall. And again, same thing every single day. In the summer, I would work 8 to 5, and then I would go home. I'd have something to eat, and then I would be on LinkedIn all day. I'd be sending out messages, personalized emails, sending out my cover letter, my resume, just trying to make any connection possible. And I ended up actually landing an internship with Aflac, the insurance company. And it really wasn't what I wanted to do. It was more of just a filler. So that was in mid-July. We needed to have our internship set by the end of August. So again, same thing. I kept looking, I kept reaching out, I kept utilizing the resources here at Endicott. And then eventually I saw a position come up, and it was for a Salesforce administrator at this company called Salsify. Now, I didn't know really how to operate Salesforce, and I had no idea what Salsify was, but I said, you know what, it's in Boston, it's a smaller company, which I like, and I actually had a mutual connection there. One of my good friends, his name's Colby Morris, I played baseball with him here my freshman year. I saw he worked there, and I had just reached out kind of on a whim. I said, hey, are you guys hiring? He had said he didn't know if there were any open positions, but he would speak with the head of HR, he would speak with kind of their recruiting specialist over there, and I ended up having this really, really great call with the regional VP of sales over there. It wasn't an interview, and it wasn't anything, it wasn't supposed to be anything professional, it was just casual, just to talk about why sales, why did I want to get into sales, and kind of where do I see myself from here. We went on a Zoom call, I hit it off. I kind of explained where I wanted to be. Again, like I said, I knew I wanted to be in sales or marketing, so that was kind of the goal. And this is in early August at this point, so I'm kind of itching, trying to get an internship, still reaching out, and then get to the last week in August. I have 5 days to have an internship proposed to my internship coordinator for the semester. His name was Peter. He reached out, sent me an email, and explained he wanted to set me up with one of the managers over there at Salsify. Her name is Tori Smith. She's my manager now. And she was the head of the BDR organization at Salsify. Same thing, kind of a casual intro call on Zoom. We hit it off, and then 2 days later, I was given an offer letter, and that's where I ended up spending my semester-long internship. And I'm currently working there now. I've been employed there for 8 months, and I'll be working there after graduation. I've been given the role of enterprise sales, which is working with companies who are $2 billion or above in revenue. And I'm expecting to be one of the team leaders on that sales org. So really a long journey, a kind of crazy journey, but nevertheless, I couldn't have done it without Endicott. And really the whole curriculum, everything we're doing here at Endicott is centered around, this experience I had. You have to go through the challenges, you have to go through the hard times, and then from there, those will make you stronger, and then it will also help you in developing professionally and personally. So at this point in my career, in my tenure here at Endicott, I really feel like I know what I value, I know what I want out of my career, and I know what I need to do to get there. And it wouldn't be possible without these experiences and without the college, and especially the internship program.
So now it's your turn. Normally when we'd be together at one of these things, we'd have you broken out into small groups, but we've tried to put together an activity that you can actually do electronically, and we will compile all that information and share that back with you. So the prompt for our activity today would be, how might you embed reflective practices at your institution that helps students foster self-awareness and tackle unstructured problems?
Our contact information is on the slide. We've shared it. We would love to hear from you. As lifelong learners, we're all about learning, growing, and growing our network. So we hope to hear from you and be in touch with you and have further discussions about this really important topic.